Kathy, we were in our last year of law school, and I was working a 9-to-5 job, and frankly, we didn't feel that, the salaries that were going to be offered to us, after graduating law school were going to support our lifestyle. And Phil came up with a great idea of starting businesses online. And back then, it was 1997. It was at the birth of the internet, and there weren't many companies offering the services that we were going to be offering. So he came out with an idea. He put up a one-page website. I supported him, and we started mycorporation.com, which was my original company. I want to be completely transparent here. That company is no longer owned by me, although it was acquired by Intuit from us. Intuit no longer owns that company. It is owned by another individual by the name of Deborah Sweeney. She's the CEO. We're very healthy competitors in the industry, and we now compete in the same industry together. Deborah happened to work with me under my team when I owned mycorporation.com. We wish her and her team well, and we're now healthy competitors in the industry. After I sold my company, I decided to take a few years off, and then I decided that retirement wasn't really in the cards for us, and I decided to come back and launch corpnet.com. And really, going back to your original question, it had to do with the fact that, my husband and I are both entrepreneurs at heart. We don't like to be controlled or boxed in, and we like to create.
Yes.
We like to innovate, and frankly, and by no means I'm trying to disrespect the legal community or the legal profession at all, but graduating law school and applying for a job that was going to pay anywhere from $35 to $40 a year wasn't really going to support the type of lifestyle that Phil and I wanted to have, and hence we decided that owning our own business was the best route for the two of us. It was going to assist us in paying our loans, our student loans for both undergrad and law school, and hence we did it, and it worked. The combination worked. He's more the idea, the visionary behind the idea, and I was more the operations gal. So the combination of two of us allowed us to create a ginormous company that, more importantly, was a great service that we were able to offer entrepreneurs, and we grew it, and it grew fast, and it was the right timing, and we were doing nearly $1 million in gross sales when we sold it to Intuit in 2005.
Okay, so you were operating your company for 8 years. Now, can I tell you, I use mycorporation.com.
Wow!
That's actually, I've had multiple conversations with your team, with Allison, about this.
Okay.
But I've used my corporation to incorporate every single one of my companies.
That makes me really excited that you've used. Now, did you use it when I used to own it, or you're using it currently?
When you used to own it.
Wow. Oh my goodness, what a small world.
Yeah, so, I have been running the Metro Moms Network for 4 years now.
Okay.
And when I was first contacted by Allison on your team, and she said my corporation, I was like, oh my God, I love this company. I incorporated my first company, which is a marketing firm called Zucker Productions, back in, I'm trying to think, 2000? It's been a long time.
That would definitely be the time that I owned mycorporation.com, and you'll probably see my name on one of your documents.
I will go back and look at my email. But I remember thinking at the time, this is amazing. Because can I tell you, I am lazy. I know nobody's going to believe that who's watching this, but really and truly, the internet came to fruition. It became prominent at the perfect time for me. Yes. Because otherwise, I would be a hermit. I would just be at home with the kids, and I would, not be talking to CEOs of companies or having conversations. Like, I'm on Twitter because I can lie there in bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and go on Twitter and kind of gradually wake up and see what people are doing. I don't have to be dressed. I don't have to be standing up.
Yes.
But people can't even tell that.
Unfortunately, I wish I was in your situation still, but for me, it's changed a little bit because, even with our current company, we are in, in an office type environment, and, because of, the way I run my business, and obviously, we don't expect anybody to come in with a three-piece suit, but we try to be as business casual as possible to be able to run a professional organization. But, this is the beauty of the internet. It's the flexibility it offers, and, and it allows us to be creative and innovate, yet, doing it in our comfortable environment or whatever zone is comfortable for you. Because whenever you create or innovate, in my opinion, you got to be comfortable. You got to be able to be comfortable in your own skin, and you got to be able to do it in an environment that's very nurturing to you as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So, okay, you're talking about a significant investment in the mycorporation.com infrastructure back when the internet was new. So talk to me a little bit more about that. Like, how did you go from a one-page website to a pretty detailed, I wound up doing everything soup to nuts because, again, I'm lazy. So all you have to do is check the boxes and say, yes, please file the New Jersey paperwork for me. And yes, send me the corporate seal. Basically, my corporation did everything that I needed. And I've since used it multiple times, but I guess now I will check out CorpNet Nellie because I have another corporation I need to incorporate.
Sure, and you know what? With all due respect, I don't want to take away from mycorporation.com or give anybody any type of misinformation. But for me, and for the purposes of this hangout session, I'd be more than happy to share with you my experiences with the previous company. But I'd like to make the focus of it be on CorpNet because we don't want to confuse anybody for that sake.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. I have 2 points of interest. Number one is how you got from being mom in a living room to mom in an office, right? Like, what kind of challenges did you face along the way? Like, was there a point where you said, this is not what I expected it would be, but I'm going full throttle, like I'm going for it?
For me, career was always in the cards for me as an individual, and even from when Phil and I decided to get married, we always knew that we wanted to have a family, a large family, but that we also wanted to focus on our careers. But why it works and why it works so well for us is that we are a great support system to one another, and we're great co-parents. And I have a great support system with my husband and business partner. Now, owning and running a business with your significant other spouse is not for everyone, and it may not work for everyone, but for us it works. And for me as a woman, I am a career woman, and I've chosen that route for myself, and it's for a number of reasons. I think that in this day and age, kids need to look at their parents as role models and see their parents and how hard they work, because oftentimes kids take things for granted just because of what they are being accustomed to and what they're being shown both in school and after school. And we live in an area where it's very they're very much surrounded by affluence, and
right. You're in California.
Yes, I'm in California. Okay. I'm in Westlake Village, California, and it's a very affluent community. It's
the Harvard Westlake School?
They go to a private school out here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that I know people who went to Harvard Westlake. Is that in that area?
No, that's actually in the west side. And,
okay.
But you know, that's not to say that anywhere you're going to be surrounded by affluence, but in our community in particular, there's a lot of affluent people, there's a lot of materialism, and for that reason, I think it's even more important for my kids to look at their parents and see how hard they work, because we want to instill in them the fact that if you want to have a great lifestyle, if you want to have the greater things in life and live a certain type of lifestyle, you have to work hard for it, and
Yes.
I'm growing, I'm raising my kids as entrepreneurs as early as today, and I choose to.
And how old are your kids?
I have twins that are 12. I got a 10-year-old and I got a 2.5-year-old.
Okay, so that's a lot.
Yes.
And how do you, okay, so you and your husband work together. How do you structure your day? Like, would one do early, one do late? How do you?
It actually, we have a pretty set schedule. I'll tell you, for example, today, we often alternate taking to school. So we do all our pickup and drop-offs ourselves, Kathy. And that's, again, we choose to do that because we want to be not only career people, but we also want to be involved in our kids' after-school activities in their life as well. So, for example, today, Phil took him to school. I got to get out of the house early. I got to hit the gym for an hour, and then I was at work by 8:30, and I start my day, and I'm here at work straight until about 4 o'clock. And what happens at 4 is I then pick up the kids. He works later, and then we conglomerate at home for dinner, and we always have family dinner together, unless the kids have, baseball, basketball, dance, or something, and then
Usual kid activities.
Yeah.
Okay, so what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur? I mean, there are thousands of parents, I'm not going to say just moms, but both parents, who are struggling with how to do this. I mean, what kind of skills would you say that they need to have in order to make this work?
First of all, what I'd like to say is that if you have a business dream and if you think that you cannot do it, you're absolutely wrong. I think any mother, any parent, anyone who has entrepreneurship in them can find the way to make it happen and should go for it and make it happen. And frankly, for those of you who are moms and who are worried about juggling or balancing, the tip that I would give you is take it slow, take it one day at a time, start small, and plan ahead. As long as you're organized and you have tons of lists and you make lists for yourself, you take care of things as they come across your email or table, and you just do them right there and then, and you don't let them pile up. In my opinion, you can not only run your family and have a successful marriage and be a great mom, but you can also have a side business which can be ultimately successful. It all boils down to great planning and organization, and that's really the tip that I would share with especially those moms out there.
So when you started your first company, I'm not going to use the name.
Oh, it's okay.
But that's okay. I know, but to avoid confusion. But when you started your first company, the one that you sold for $20 million, because let's be real, it's irrelevant which company it is. What's more important is, did you have a full-time job at the same time?
I did not have, when Phil and I were going to law school at the time, and I had a part-time job and I went to law school, and then my husband decided to, launched a business, and we launched a one-page website, and then at that time he decided to go take the bar exam and asked me to come and manage the company. So I quit my part-time job, I went to law school, and I ran the company while he went to take the bar exam. And then while he was out taking the bar exam, again, the operations side of me kind of kicked in, where I wanted to really build the company and start expanding the company. So I started expanding the company by wanting to offer more services, more products, I hired a few people, and then when Phil came back, because again, he's more on the technical side, the idea man, the visionary.
Okay.
I told him, hey, we need to offer X, Y, and Z, and hence the business started growing, which allowed us to purchase our first house, move the operations in the basement of our house, and then from there we started, signing advertising contracts with, back then there was Excite,
Yeah, yeah.
there was no Google. So we started, signing advertising contracts, and then slowly but surely the business grew and it grew and it grew, whereby, fast forward, we were doing so much in volume, and that's when we were approached by Intuit, and it was a great opportunity, and we really didn't know that we were going to step down and retire. It really
Right, 'cause
happened.
how old were you at the time that Intuit bought your company?
I think
You're like thinking.
I think it was like 34, 35. So,
Right.
I was more hungry back then, and my
Okay.
kids were younger, and but we started the company and then had children, so
Right.
the timing was perfect, because when they approached us, it was like, okay, great, we get to run our company and have the beauty of not being under so much stress, because somebody else is actually forking out the money and we get to cash out and
Okay.
to focus on our children. But then once we were acquired, it lost its entrepreneurial spirit for us, and I felt like it was very corporate for me, and some people like that, but for me it really lost that spirit. And when I get boxed in, when I have people that say, hey, you have to do it this way versus the way I want to do it, that doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel right, and it kind of really, really, takes away from me being creative and being able to think out of the box and doing the things I want to do. So at that time, Phil and I decided, you know what, we've been blessed with this opportunity, and it's time for us to just take some time off, focus on the family, and we did. And then for 3 years, how many, handbags and shoes, and how much traveling are you going to do?
Lunch out.
Loses its allure after a point. And then, I was really bored, and I thought, you know what, I'm really, really done with retirement. It's not in the cards for me. I can't really see myself doing anything else, because I love entrepreneurship. I love helping people start businesses and really realizing that they have something there and they can start a business for very little money, and hence we came out with CorpNet, and CorpNet was born in July of 2009.
Okay, so talk to me more about CorpNet. Like, what are you doing there that is helping you meet your life goals?
So CorpNet for us, we launched it in a time which was at the height of the recession. So our economic condition was 180 degrees different than when we started my first company. So we came out during a time when people were not comfortable with purchasing and specifically transacting online. And why I decided to come out with CorpNet was because I, had sold the company, and now the company was still in existence and being run by this other private individual. And then I saw that hundreds of thousands of other competitors, including LegalZoom and Rocket Lawyer, and all these other companies had come out, and they're offering startup services in the same space that I had been offering it back in 1997. But back in 1997, when I launched my business, I was merely dealing with maybe a few businesses. And when I launched in 2009, now I'm dealing with hundreds of thousands of competitors. But what I did was I took a look at the climate, and I thought, well, you know what, even though there's so many of these companies out there, they're not really offering the service as I envision offering it, and they're not really offering it whereby they're engaging with the client on a social level, on a personal level. So because of my expertise, my background, who we were, and all of our qualifications, we decided to come out and created a niche for ourselves by putting out amazing content out there through social media, and carved out a niche for ourselves and created our brand and, you know, our name through social media. And
Okay,
hence,
so talking about social media, because that's the new thing, right? Like that's what's differentiating you, because social media has been big for about, well, it's been around roughly for about 5 years now.
correct.
So you got to figure that coincided with the start of CorpNet.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you integrate it when you consider, I mean, social media on the face of it really has nothing to do with the corporation and the operations and the website, right?
Correct. So the way we used social media to our benefit was, number one, we realized that nobody was really integrated. Well, at least none of our competitors were integrated at that time in social media. I mean, for example, back then, nobody was doing videos, nobody was coming out with content videos. So I decided to really, you know, take advantage of that hole, and I launched the website, you know, really, you know, under the guise of it being very social media friendly, with
Right.
a ton of videos, ton of content. And then what I started doing is really, you know, started writing a ton of content and getting into outlets, you know, such as the ones I write for right now, Mashable, Bloomberg,
Yeah.
Entrepreneur Inc., Small Business Trends, All Business, and I used that to my benefit. And then slowly but surely, as I was writing the content within these outlets, I would also engage with people on Facebook and Twitter, and then also utilize the videos to my advantage of, you know, promoting them. And it started to lend us credibility and allowed us to grow the business. But really, that's how I came out. I carved a niche for myself, and I used social media as a tool, as a branding tool, as a marketing tool to grow my business, you know, because I realized that in 2009, you can't really pay to play. You have to play. You know, you have to engage with people. People will buy from you by hearing what other people, you know, think of your company. And, you know, word of mouth is a very powerful tool, as you know, Kathy, you know.
Oh, yes.
And really, that's how we built our business.
Okay, so basically what I'm getting in terms of the ingredients to launch a successful company, you need to have a great product. Then you also need to have great content talking about the product. Now, I read a couple of your articles, and you're talking about things that are not specifically, how should I put it, like, here's how to start your company. Like, there was an article today about, or that you published, well, I saw your tweet yesterday about age, right? As in, which age is the best one to start a company? And pretty much what you did was you went down the list of different groups of adults right now. You have boomers, the in-between group, which is mine, and millennials. So where are you getting this data from? Is this from all the companies that are being formed through your business? Is this through just anecdotal evidence? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, how are you getting the ideas for your content?
I get ideas from my content from my clients, from people that I come to contact with on a daily basis. You know, I write content, you know, I write a lot of variety of different content, you know. I write specifically on tips on how to start a business, how to run a business, how to grow a business, how to manage a business,
Right.
protect a business. And then I write articles based on being a mother, how to run a successful marriage, how to, you know, manage running a business and, you know, taking care of 4 children. And all these ideas come to me, Kathy, because I come across dealing with people on a daily basis. I mean, you know, we have tons of visitors on a daily basis that come to our website, and I may be the CEO, that may be my title, but I actually enjoy talking with our clientele, and I run our call center, a couple of, you know, hours during the day, and that's my choice. It's because I want to be connected to my clients, and I want to see what the clients want and what they're calling in for. So I do that. Again, that may not be something that every CEO may follow, but that's just my choice. And from there, I get the ideas of what to write about, and I enjoy writing, I also run a blog as well. I have my Startup Starting Line blog. But in answer to your question, ideas come to me at the oddest hours, sometimes when
Right.
I'm laying in bed at night while my baby is sleeping, sometimes during the shower time. I often look at the pain points that clients often face when they're starting a business, the confusions that they face, and from those I get my ideas as to what to write about.
Okay, so to recap, you have to have a great product, great content that is in some way related to your product. It doesn't have to be an explicit, like, this is how to use my product, but just something that's related to the topic. And then you have to promote it and engage people. So that's what you're doing on social media.
And more important than anything, when you want to start a business, you have to believe in what you're selling yourself. You have to ask yourself, would I buy this product? Is it going to make a significant change in the consumer's life? Would I work day and night for free and not take a paycheck to promote this product? And that's really the entrepreneurial mindset. That's how I run my businesses. I don't have one business. I run several businesses, and I'm always doing something, But,
right.
The culture that I've created here in my company, which not only starts here with me, but it also goes to my team, and then it carries through to my clientele, is we're here to make the consumer's life easier by the products and services we offer. And we want it to be such that clients feel great about the product and service that they're getting from us, once they leave our website, once they leave our storefront. Because isn't that what creates more happy customers? When your customer leaves and they're happy and they're satisfied, they're going to share that experience with somebody else. And it's going to have this trickling down effect whereby it's its own advertising. So you got to believe in it, because when you don't believe in it, it comes across. Clients are not dumb. They're not stupid. And they're not going to buy from you when they know that you're doing a sales job on them. And for me, that's the culture that I like to create within my company, is that we're not some gimmicky company. We're not trying to sell you something or hold it out to be something that it's not. We're a team of real people. We're small business owners, and we're trying to help you start your business by offering simplified solutions for you that will help you not only start your business, but to help you run your business throughout the lifetime of your business.
Yes, and I have to say, based on my experience with your companies, and I have to incorporate another company, so I will check out CorpNet later on today after I get off this call, because
Thank you.
Your products are superb.
You that you're going to be very happy with the experience, because we're very, very, very personable with our clientele, and frankly, our services and our customer service truly surpasses anybody else within the industry. And the customer reviews, the raves they have about us, kind of speak for themselves.
Well, having worked with your company while you owned it, I can say that you are historically ahead of the game.
Thank you.
Because back in 2000, when I formed my first corporation, there was nothing online. I think I was one of the first people ever to create online registries. I mean, I was on the bump when I got married, because I've been married since 2000. The same thing, thank you, Fortunoff. I wound up registering for my wedding at Fortunoff because they were one of the very, very, very few companies that allowed you to create an online registry.
Sure.
Everybody else was going to, Tiffany's?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Tiffany, you had to physically go into the store.
Yes.
You couldn't do it online. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? I do not have time for this. So, when I found your website, I was like, this, in, done. And it's significantly cheaper than going through an attorney also, which was a factor for me. I mean,
and you'll see that our prices, so why we came out with CorpNet and the way we've structured our packages and our services at CorpNet is we took a look at the, competitors, and we really did a ton of research and competitive shopping to formulate our packages based on, again, what the entrepreneur needs and what they can afford. So when you come to corpnet.com and you take a look at our packages range anywhere from $79 as our basic package all the way to $249. And there is a package for any entrepreneur, and it really, is structured in a way that whatever package you choose, you'll find that it will be much more competitive, not only in pricing, but also in the type of services that you get within that package than all of the other competition within the industry. I mean, you got to look at it for what it is, Kathy. We've been in business for almost 5 years. This year we'll be celebrating our 5-year anniversary.
Right.
And we are already being compared to the 800-pound gorilla. I mean, none of the other companies, including my past company, is on even people's radar when they call in here. The single most frequent question we get is, hi, I'm interested in starting a business. How are you different than LegalZoom? That's, the number one question we get, So it really says for itself as to the level of service that we provide if we're truly being compared to the largest competitor out there who has the majority of the market share, and it's validation for me as a leader that I'm doing something right here, and that we're doing something right, and that's serving people in the way they should be served when it comes to starting businesses.
Now I have a question for you, and what I'm curious about is, why did you choose to start another company in basically exactly the same space as your first company? Like, you're talking about, okay, so Marcus Lemonis, right, the Prophet, he was on the Today Show last week saying that the first to market is always the best to market. So it's easier to compete in a less crowded field than it is to be in one that's very, very competitive. So, I mean, did you think about starting a company in a different, less crowded field, or did you feel that because you understand this industry?
So let me ask you a question. Why not?
Sure.
Why not? Why not go back into the same industry when you know how to do it and you know how to do it so wonderfully? Why not? I mean, for me as an entrepreneur, that competitive drive, whereby I've done it before and I can do it all over again, is the best rush that I can get as an entrepreneur. So I'm going to take your question and answer another question, which is, why not? Why not go into an industry that you already know how to do, and you know how to do it so well, whereby you were acquired? Why don't you come back and do it and sell it this time for $100 million?
Okay. So that answers the question right there.
So for me, it's, I'm going to do what I'm great at. And I'm great at creating something out of nothing and building it up. And, of course, with CorpNet right now, I don't have any particular type of exit strategy. I'm, approached by investors daily,
Right.
For Phil and I right now, we love what we're doing. We're constantly, creating new products, launching new products, and we're building the company, and I love every minute of it.
So you have a platform now that you own, and you can do anything you want with it. So that's really what this is about. It's about starting with the industry that you know inside and out.
Exactly.
And just going wherever you want with it.
Well, not only that, starting in an industry that I know, that I know very well, that I'm really good at, but really, looking at the economy and looking at the customer's needs and taking it a notch higher, And for Phil and I, that's what it's all about. I mean, to this day, we see so much opportunity out there, and it's exciting to us. The opportunities that are out there in my industry and the lack of awareness to this date as to how many people do not know that such a service exists, it just, makes me even more excited to be within this industry.
Yes, and actually this is interesting that you say this, because this is also why I am in my industry, which is basically networking, using social media, blogging, because I foresee a boom in the freelance economy. I mean, it's already happening. 1 in 5 Americans works for themselves. And now you have the Affordable Care Act, which is untethering health insurance from employers. And then you have the aging of the population, right? You have a huge percentage of the population. The youngest of the baby boomers turned 65 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are looking to stay employed. They want some degree of flexibility. So what's the best way to achieve that except by working for yourself?
Exactly. And how I can also add to that is, oftentimes people say, well, there's no job security in owning your own business. Well, what type of security do you have in working for somebody else? At least owning your own business, when you're about to when you're going to go out of business, or if you're going to get a paycheck or not, because at least you have control over your own business. But when you work for somebody else, what kind of security is there in working for somebody else? At any given moment in time, somebody can come and give you your final paycheck and say, sorry, sayonara. So
this is true. It's true.
Yes. So in my opinion, if you have the passion, if you have the drive, if you have a vision, the determination, then you should definitely go for it, because it's so easy to make money on the internet. It's so easy.
Well, let's put it this way. We're coming to the end of our time. So what words would you leave for someone? If you could sum it up in a couple of sentences, what would you say to someone who is looking for something, right? Who they're kind of okay in their lives, but they're thinking maybe they should be doing more, like pushing. Like, could you speak to them?
We offer free business consultations here at CorpNet on a daily basis, and I'd be happy to, speak with them directly. Unfortunately, my time is limited throughout the day, but we have experts, here that I've hired that obviously are an extension of me, that can assist, that can guide, that can consult. But I think more importantly, before anybody comes to corpnet.com, it really starts within that person to really do some soul searching to see what is it that they're passionate about. What is it that they like to do? What is it that really, really makes them happy every day of their life? And is it something that they can create a successful business out of, And success can't be the goal. It obviously it's something that will naturally flow from your efforts. But if you're truly, truly interested in going out on your own, starting a business, it needs to start with you. And it needs to be something that you're passionate about, that you love, and that you would do no matter what, even if you didn't get paid for it. Because that's why I do what I do every day, And, I know there was some, mishaps that happened at the beginning of this conversation.
Yes.
With us getting online and connecting. But you know what? I love my job, and I love inspiring people. I love educating people about entrepreneurship. I love, giving tips to people. And frankly, I would do this day in and day out, without getting paid for it. And I've done it for the past 3 or 4 years without getting paid for it, because I reinvested all my money within the company to grow the company. And I think really starts there. You got to be passionate. You got to love what you do.
Right. And just for the people watching at home, in my experience and in talking to probably 10,000 people over the last 4 years, because that's what I do, I talk to people, it's about $1,500. You can start up a company with website, laptop, printer, and incorporation for about $1,500. And from there, it's just your time.
Exactly. And the $1,500 that you're referring to, I mean, really, it includes, all the office setup, the phones, the printer, as you mentioned, but specifically to just start a business and to get your business up and running and doing the paperwork. With our company, you can get it started for as little as under $200.
True. So everything else, I mean, for example, I already own a laptop. I already own a printer. I already have a cell phone. So, everything beyond that $200 is up to you.
And these days, Kathy, we don't even use printers anymore.
I still use mine.
Yeah, I use mine too sometimes, but even on the printer issue, people can save a couple of dollars because everybody's trying to go green,
True. But, you still have the hard copy signatures, and then you need a scanner. So
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nellie, for your time, for sharing your information. And everybody who has been here, thank you for hanging in there.
Today was one of those days that will go down in history.
Oh, man. Now I'm going to go try to figure out the technical aspect of it, because that's one of the challenges of being an entrepreneur. You're on stage all the time, no matter what. Life throws curveballs at you, and you just figure out what to do with them.
And you just go. You just keep on trudging forward. But yes, exactly. I would love to. I'm going to have Allison reach out to you, and so that we can remove that portion if possible.
Yeah. I know definitely we can edit the YouTube aspect. I need to figure out the Google Hangout portion, because I know it links. It's all connected somehow. So yes, one way or another,
we will get it done. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Kathy.
Thanks, Ellie. Okay.
Bye-bye.